I'm David, and today we are going to talk about biomes, mainly and particularly tundras. The Arctic tundra is the world's youngest biome. It was formed 10,000 years ago. The tundra is a vast and treeless land which covers about 20% of the Earth's surface. It is usually very cold and the land is pretty stark. Almost all tundras are located in the northern hemisphere. Small tundra-like areas do exist in Antarctica in the southern hemisphere, but because it is much colder than the Arctic, the ground is always covered with snow and ice. Conditions are not right for a true tundra to form. Tundras come from the Finnish word tunturia, which means a barren land. The ground is prematurely frozen 10 inches to 3 feet down so that trees can't grow there. The bare and sometimes rocky ground can only support low-growing plants like mosses, heaths, and lichen. In the winter, it is cold and dark, and in the summer, when the snow and the top layer of permafrost melt, it is very soggy. And the tundra is covered with marshes, lakes, bogs, streams that breed thousands of insects that attract many migrating birds. The main seasons are winter and summer. Spring and fall are only a short period between winter and summer. The tundra is the world's coldest and driest biome. The average annual temperature is negative 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Nights can last for weeks, and when the sun barely rises during some months in the winter, and the temperature can drop to negative 94 degrees. During the summer, the sun shines almost 24 hours a day, which is why the Arctic is also called the land of the midnight sun. Summer temperatures are usually pretty warm for there. They get up to about 54 degrees Fahrenheit, but it can get as cold as 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Average summer temperatures range from 37 degrees Fahrenheit to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The tundra is basically like a desert when it comes to rain. It only rains about 6 to 10 inches a year. There is barely any vegetation in the tundra, only about 17,000 different species. There are mostly shrubs, sedges, mosses, lichens, and grasses. There are about 400 varieties of flowers. The growing season is only about 50 to 60 days long. There are no trees except for birches in the lower latitudes. The ground is always frozen beneath top layer of soil, so trees can't send their roots down. Willows do grow on some parts of the tundra, but only as low carpets, about 3 inches high. Most plants grow in a dense mat of roots, which has developed over thousands of years. The soil is very low in nutrients and minerals, except where animal droppings fertilize the soil. Surprisingly, there are animals in the tundra. Although there isn't a lot of biodiversity, only 48 species of land animals are found on the tundra. There are a lot of each species. These consist of slightly modified shrews, hares, rodents, wolves, foxes, bears, and deer. There are large herds of caribou in North America known as reindeer. In Eurasia, which feed on lichens and plants. There are also smaller herds of musk oxen. Wolves, wolverine, Arctic foxes, and polar bears are the predators of the tundra. Smaller mammals are snowshoe rabbits and lemmings. There aren't many different species of insects in the tundra, but black flies, deer flies, mosquitoes, and no-see-ums can make the tundra a miserable place to be in. In the summer, mosquitoes can keep themselves from freezing by replacing the water in their bodies with a chemical called glycerin. It works like an antifreeze and allows them to survive under the snow during the winter. The marshy tundra is a great place for migrating birds like harlequin, ducks, sandpipers, and plovers. The tundra has a lot of oil in it, and that's where humans come into play. The tundra is a very fragile environment. The extremely cold temperatures make it a difficult environment to survive in during the winter. Plants and animals have a hard time coping with any extra stress and disturbances. More people moving to the tundra work in mines and oil rigs have created towns with more roads. Some animal movement to traditional feeding and denning grounds have been disrupted by those obstacles. When they try to pass through a town, they are often scared away or shot. With their feeding patterns disrupted, many polar bears have starved. The Alaskan oil pipeline was built across the caribou migration route. In some places, the pipeline has been raised above the ground so the caribou can pass under it. Pesticides have been used to control the hordes of insects. Thousands of migrating birds come to the tundra because of the abundant insects, though the food chain and the pesticides reach many of the animals that live on the tundra. Pollution from mining and drilling for oil has polluted the air, lakes, and rivers. The land around some nickel mines in Russia have become so polluted that the plants in the surrounding area have died. Footprints in the tracks can be visible for many years after they were made. When the sun hits the ruts, it causes the permafrost to melt. This causes erosion and the ruts to get bigger, and eventually the ruts turn into gullies. Tracks made during World War II have grown so large that some of them are now lakes. The tundra is one of Earth's 3 major carbon dioxide sinks. During the short summer, tundra's plants take in carbon dioxide, sunlight, and water in the process of photosynthesis. Plants normally give off carbon dioxide after they die and decompose. But because of the short, cool summer and freezing winter temperatures, plants can't decompose remains of plants thousands of years old have been found in the tundra. In this way, the tundra traps the carbon dioxide and removes it from the atmosphere. Today, global warming is melting the permafrost of the tundra, and every year several feet of tundra are lost. As the tundra melts, the plant's mass decompose and return carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. The tundra is not cold and useless wasteland. It is a very fragile environment, and the plants and animals that have made their home there on the tundra biome have made some incredible adaptations to the long, cold winters and the short but abundant summers. They live on precarious edge, and the smallest stresses can bring about their destruction. As you see, you got some, that's an Arctic fox. Yeah. I believe that's a caribou. And you got some polar bears. Yeah, looks like an ice cave. Got some people walking. And a polar bear going to eat I think it's a dead bird. And the guy looks to be maybe, I think he's hunting a whale is what that is. Looks like a whale. Those are, you got some baby bears. Big bears. Big bears just digging into the ground. Baby bear's like, hey, what's going on? And I'll just like, forget y'all. You see, it's like a very vast and wasteless land. They got the snow owls too.
I'm Alyssa, and I'm doing the Taiga portion of the biome project that we were assigned between David and I. And I am going to start with information on the different weather and things that you find in the taiga. Taiga is the Russian word for the forest and the largest biome in the world. It stretches over Eurasia and North America. The taiga is located near the top of the world, just below the tundra biome. The winters in the taiga are very cold with only snowfall. The summers are warm, rainy, and humid. A lot of coniferous trees grow in the taiga. The taiga is also known as the boreal forest, named after the goddess Boreal. The taiga does not have as many plants and animal species as the tropical or deciduous forest biomes. It does have millions of insects in the summertime. Birds migrate there every year to nest and feed. The main seasons in the taiga are winter and summer. The spring and autumn are so short you hardly know they exist. It's either hot and humid or very cold in the taiga. The average temperature is below freezing for 6 months out of the year. The winter temperature ranges -65 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. These winters, as you can see, are really cold with lots of snow. Temperature range in the summer is as low as 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The height in the summer can be 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The summers are mostly warm, rainy, and humid. They are also very short with about 50 to 100 frost-free days. The total precipitation in a year is 30 to 85 centimeters. The form of precipitation comes in rain, snow, and dew. Most of the precipitation in the taiga falls as rain in the summer. Coniferous trees, also known as evergreens, have long and waxy needles. The wax gives them some protection from freezing temperatures for drying out. Evergreens don't lose their leaves in the winter like deciduous trees. They keep their needles all year long. This is so that they can start photosynthesis as soon as the weather gets warm. The dark color of the evergreen needles also allows them to absorb heat from the sun and also helps them start photosynthesis early. There are not a lot of species of plants in the taiga because of the harsh conditions. Not many plants can survive in the extreme cold and taiga winter. There are some lichens and mousses, but most plants are coniferous trees like pine, white spruce, hemlock, and Douglas fir. Evergreens in the taiga tend to be thin and grow close together. This gives them protection from the cold and wind. Evergreens also are usually shaped like an upside down cone to protect the branches from breaking under the weight. Animals of the taiga tend to be predators like the lynx and members of the weasel family like wolverines, bobcat, minks, and ermine. They hunt herbivores like snowshoe rabbits, red squirrels, and wolves. Red deer, elk, and moose can be found in regions of the taiga where more deciduous trees grow. The taiga is susceptible to many wildfires. Trees have adapted by growing thick bark. The fires will burn away the upper canopy of the trees and let sunlight reach the ground. New plants will grow and provide food for animals that once could not live there because there were only evergreen trees. Many insects-eating birds come to the taiga to breed. They leave when the breeding season is over. Seed eaters like finches and sparrows, and omnivorous birds like crows stay all year long.
Projects on Tundra and Taiga.
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 Taiga.